We are back with a Fox News alert. Weekly jobless claims soar to a record-breaking 6.6 million as the economy reels over the coronavirus.
That number is much higher than economists had predicted. They were thinking between 3 and 5 million people losing their jobs as strict measures to contain the disease have closed businesses and brought the country to a standstill in many parts. Brian?
All right, this new number completely eclipses last week's jobless claims. We were at 3.3 million filed for unemployment. So let's bring in Starting Senator Marco Rubio. Senator, I know personally that you worked extremely hard, especially as it goes to small business with the 2.2 trillion. Does this number represent a previous move by employers to get rid of these employees? And could they be brought back in order to get some of the money you put aside for them?
It's a stunning number, and it does represent the people who've lost their jobs probably all throughout last week, which is what we were warning about. Can I say something else without, frightening everybody or freaking everyone out? The true number is actually much higher. We know, for example, that there's probably no state in the country who has an unemployment system that is prepared to take in the vast volume of people that are trying to reach them. In Florida, all over the country, they're just being overwhelmed. No system is set up for 50,000 people to call in a day or try to reach them. So the number is probably much higher than that, the true number. And that is why there was such a sense of urgency to get last week, and why we have such a sense of urgency now to get the Paycheck Protection Program up and running.
Senator, what's your recommendation to small business owners? I have a friend, I was talking to her, and she said, I want to be able to pay my employees. How do I get that money? We've gone to the bank. The banks aren't familiar with what we're supposed to be doing. She's gone to that website so many times, and she still has questions.
Well, the banks should be familiar by now. I would tell you that my advice that I give every small business is, if you have an existing banking relationship, especially if it's one of the larger national banks, but it can be your community bank as well, reach out to them immediately. I know that as of last night, all the various different large banks that have branches all over the country, and I think a growing number of community banks, are preparing to gear up and start the Paycheck Protection Program, which will allow a small business to go in and get 250% of their monthly payroll, which they can use and don't have to pay back if they use it for payroll, benefits for employees, rent, lease, or utilities. And so everyone's working overtime to get that program up and running. The goal was to start Friday, as early as Friday, with the applications. The applications are now available online. People can start filling them out. But I would start with if you have an existing banking relationship, you should reach out to them again.